Hey guys, Romie here. So I'm going to have to do this review a little bit differently. I always have an issue doing reviews for reunions because there's always a lot that I miss out on because there's a lot of side talking and infighting. And so I'm going to do this one, like I said, very differently. Instead of me attempting to go piece by piece across everything that's said within the part one of the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 2, episode, reunion part 1, I'm going to just go and piece by piece say my piece on things that I heard. So bear with me. Bear with me. Everyone's there. Everyone looks nice. One of the first things I noticed was that Karen, Karen did a lot of talking. Karen was on the defense. No, Karen was on the offense because she was trying to play defense for herself, for her marriage, for all of that. So there's a couple of things that we cover because the first, I would say 15 minutes was dedicated to Karen. Well, it's maybe the first 10 minutes, first 9-10 minutes, but it feels like 15. So one of the things that happened aside from Karen is I also noticed that I'm like, well, dang, there's something happened because it just seemed like none of them were really friends except for Giselle and Robin were still friends. But it almost seemed like everyone else kind of like did a take it or leave it. Of course, Ashley and Monique, they're cool enough. Karen's just like, whoever isn't saying negative stuff to me, I'm cool with. And getting back on Karen. So a lot of things that I would focus on this season was that Karen's relationship with her house. Not with her husband, but with her house. So they talk about how she moved in secret. She went from this 9,000 square foot home to a 12,000 square foot home or 14,000 square foot. And they're just like, you know what, Karen, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense that you kept it a secret. It didn't make sense how you do it. Karen was saying that she moved because of her parents, and her parents were used to Virginia instead of Maryland, and that's why they decided to switch over versus just staying in Potomac. And Andy was saying, wait a minute, but Potomac, wait, this is only a 10-minute difference as far as from state to state, so what are you talking about? And Karen was just saying, if my parents want to stay in Virginia, they're farmers, that's what they want to do. And I said, okay, you don't need to explain this. We get that there's something else going on and that's actually personal and real and you don't want to say it. So that's why we're all looking at you like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense. But again, I said, okay, I'll give it to her for that. But again, she was doing a lot of fast talking because throughout the whole season, I guess she saw and realized, oh, so they were taking slight jabs at me the entire time. Got it. The only one that she seemed truly okay with was with Monique, because Monique was one of the few people that just called up and checked up on her and was encouraging and all of that. They kind of brought up Monique's housing situation, how Monique didn't have to go and keep both houses open. No, how she didn't have to go and do what Karen had to do moving wise. The issue, though, was Monique said, I just started to move in there. And they're like, huh? Yes. So it's not what it seems. Obviously, financially, it wasn't an issue. But, of course, I was going to keep my other home for now. It's not like I was renting it. So that's why I have it. Like, come on. The situation is a little different. It's a little different. And I'm thinking, okay, that's great. So we'll move on from that. But Karen felt a certain way because they're like, oh, they're trying to attack my marriage this season. That's not the problem. It's the Black Bill Gates and the Grand Dome of Great Falls. And then Karen says, wait a minute, it was Giselle that actually gave me that tile. I said, so why didn't you just say that? And why didn't Giselle kind of say that? I get it that maybe it was so long ago and maybe it was a joke, so Giselle didn't think too much about it, but I'm thinking, it's these little inconsistencies that are so dumb. Like, I'm not even going to talk about, I thought everyone looked nice. I'm not one of those people that are super, like, it's like, oh, I like the pink on Robin, and, the asymmetrical blonde hair, straight blonde hair. I said, she looks good. Giselle with the long, like light, like gold. Her hair was golden-ish. She had a red dress. I said, Jezebel. Okay, got it. Like all jokes, people, all jokes. But she looked good. She had a little bronzer on. I said, okay, cool. Karen. I said, look at Karen. Karen just, I like the hair, dress. I don't care. Like I'm just saying, I don't. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that everyone's obsessed with Karen's boobs. They're like, did you get a boob reduction? I said, wait a minute, wait, what? We were just talking about how the Black Bill Gates isn't really the Black Bill Gates. And Karen said, you know, in the salon, because Ray, he brought 300 jobs to the local area with his tech company, which now we're hearing that he owes back taxes. But what I have to say is that has nothing to do with money. Wait, let me correct that. That has nothing to do with not making money, because there's a lot of people who owe taxes that make a lot of money and are responsible. There's just people who, when it comes to accounting, unfortunately happens to a lot of people, especially once you make a certain amount, a lot of people usually owe. And it normally doesn't get to the millions. That's the difference. That's the only difference. Because I'm sure I can go through almost any neighborhood and find some well-off, relatively well-off people that may owe taxes that they don't even realize they owe. Now, I get it. If you're on your P's and Q's, that shouldn't happen to you, especially if you have someone like Robin, who's on the season, said, yeah, all this stuff happened to us. You wouldn't expect it to happen to anyone else on the cast, but it did. So I'm just saying it because, yes, I heard about that too. I'm moving on past it. It kind of irked me because the whole season I was trying to figure out, so what's the real issue with Karen? Because they made, when I say they, I mean people like Charisse, people like Ashley, in some cases Robin, a little less Giselle. I feel like Giselle this entire season was purposely just being, you know, trying to be funny and egging things on. I don't think she cared about half the stuff she talked about, now that I really think about it, because it just felt like it came out of left field because they said, okay, we're going to ask her about this, and we know we'll get this response. You know, there's a lot of things that they record and ask these ladies that they don't show us. So maybe Giselle was the one that was giving them the response that they want. That happens all the time. Now, I find it very odd that Charisse, this whole dynamic of Karen and Charisse, thinking, when did they stop being friends? Clearly, they didn't say that they're not friends anymore, but they don't act like real friends. They act like people who've had beef for years in the streets, and now there's cameras around them, so they're gonna go and finally voice their opinions. And it's just a little off to me. It really is. It really is. We talk about the relationship between, right now, Ashley and Michael. They're put on the back burner. I think that they were meant for next week for a reason, because that's where we're going to get the content from them. Giselle insinuating that Karen went and got a face job, and that's why she didn't show up to Giselle's birthday party, even though everyone else did, including Monique. And so I'm thinking, okay, where are we going to go with this? Karen said, you know, and that's when they talked about Karen's sick mother and that she was there tending to them and dealing with that. And that's when the housing situation came up as well, because Karen was saying all of that, but then Giselle said, well, I know you were in New York getting your face, you know, done, a touch-up, plastic surgery. And Karen said, no, my person's here. My person's here. I don't use someone over there. I said, I know she acknowledged it before, but I appreciate the honesty again. That's why I said, what's really going on here? This is just a bunch of petty not. I forgot what I'm watching, reality TV. Never mind. I'm watching reality TV. I shouldn't take it so seriously. Never mind. What's the next thing I want to talk about? Because there was a lot of just sly comments that I heard and missed because I was kind of over the season. So I said, I borderline don't even care about these. It's weird. Do you guys think that Giselle and Monique really have issues with each other? If it's more so because of the TV? I'm not going to talk about them yet. Maybe let's talk about, because Charisse didn't have much, going on because it was like, oh, her marriage, and she's still married to her husband. That's all we know. That's it right now, because we're going to talk about who she was and wasn't dating a little bit later. Monique got to speak her piece. Monique felt a certain way about many things. One was how Giselle came up. Do you want to skip to Monique, or do you want to? Now let's back up. So Giselle's thing, a retired basketball player who we did see on part one of the reunion. I said, oh, okay. He's a shy, soft-spoken man. And I said, I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that Giselle went that route because of how Giselle presents. But again, that's the issue. This is TV. This is made for TV stuff. So sometimes you can't take these things as seriously as we do. That's why you shouldn't be so surprised when you're like, oh my God, I thought this person would be with that and that person. Yeah, because the guy was just like, yeah, and he met all of them already. So she's not keeping it a secret or anything. Clearly, she's very happy in the relationship. They've been going out for around a year, which means that right after filming occurred, she met him at the gym, and they started to talk, and then eventually started to date. I said, that's nice. That's nice. They did address the whole Ray thing and getting older, and Giselle is very nice because she respects Ray, and regardless of the little that she may have with Karen sometimes, you can tell Karen's still her friend. So she said, you know, I understand it. Yeah, I'm definitely getting old. And she's in a relationship, so of course she can now say, well, of course I like to have someone, and my kids are gonna be gone. Oh, yeah, I get it. Oh, let's see. Where do I want to go next? Yeah, I guess we can go to Monique. And I'm really glad what she did in this part one, because there are a lot of moments where Giselle was trying to, it's not even backpedal. She's trying to say, actually, technically it is backpedaling. It is. That's exactly what it is. It doesn't matter if that was the reality. The issue was Giselle got on TV, presented herself a certain way, talked about Monique and her mannerisms, talked about Monique and how her and what she says, how she talks, and just kind of critiqued her and everything. Talked about her in her own home, and Monique was trying to figure out, first of all, who does that? Secondly, why are you trying to justify that? Third, it just feels very odd. And Monique was on. She was on. She even went at Robin. Like, Robin, I thought you were cool, and then I realized once you got with your little buddy old pal over there, i.e. Giselle, ooh, you have brand new. You're one of those people that's very brand new when you're around Giselle. And other people said that as well. I believe Ashley or Charisse or Karen said Robin acts very differently when she's around Giselle, because Ashley said Robin acts differently when she's around Juan, and Robin doesn't see it. She does. We know she does. She even acknowledged it. She just doesn't want to, confirm it to someone who's arguing with her. That's all that really is. But I'm glad that Monique has a backbone, and she said, no, I'm not tolerating that, saying all these sly remarks and just disrespect. But because Giselle was trying to insinuate, oh, well, you called me a trick and all this stuff. Monique said, first off, trick is 5 letters, not 4 letters. Secondly, you going and disrespecting someone, saying that they hood and all that, that's disrespectful. That's low class. That's low brow itself. So what else are you trying to do? Charisse the whole time was in the cut, kind of just confirming, yes, Giselle, you wanted to act one way. Because Monique went down the list. When I went into the rap at the high tea, first of all, I was surprised that you ladies even asked me to do that. Secondly, I had a moment, because when you're in the music industry and people say, oh, I want to hear you sing, I want to hear you rap, I want to hear you perform something for me, you do it on the spot. So I said, oh, okay, well, this is me. I'm going to show myself, and I don't care where it is. If they're asking, then I'll do it. I have no shame in that. And I said, I respect it. I respect it because you're being you all the time. What I was a little shocked by was when she said that her mother-in-law, when she didn't realize her mother-in-law called her a hoe. And, like, I don't care if she used a different word. Essentially saying the same thing or inferring that. And she watched the show with her husband, not realizing that that was about to happen. looked over at her dude like, what the? Yo. And apparently she got her mother-in-law a new vehicle, sent it to her. Her mother-in-law said thank you. And she hasn't talked to her in about a year. In about a year. That's really sad. That's really sad. Because it's July now, so they probably taped just like 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is how the reunion shows normally happen. Because they want to be as current as possible. And I felt bad. I felt bad because that's not right. That's not right on a multitude of levels. Like I said, there wasn't much going on with Charisse in at least this part 1, or really with this season. So we're going to go to Robin next. Robin, they questioned her. They gave her 30 questions because Andy was saying how it doesn't make sense that there were producers, not, what do you think of the audio from the producers? Oh, well, you know, Juan has said that stuff before, and we actually talked. He just doesn't like the cameras. I knew that. I could tell that Juan isn't someone who likes the cameras and all that and wants to put himself out there. It makes sense because he didn't really sign up for this. You did. So him having to be on there is a precursor because he's in the same house as you. Now, yes, could he technically go and move out and get somewhere cheap and not have to deal with all of that? Yeah. Did he want to do that? No, because he's comfortable with at least being around you. Do I believe that he's one of those people that really does still love her, but would be open to being with someone else as well? He still have love for her and not be in a relationship with her, which sounds like what they're doing right now. Because she said, yep, they do sleep with each other occasionally. They're trying to work things out, trying to be better, you know, partners for each other and all that stuff. And I actually said, you know what, this is great and all, but what are you really doing here? What are you really doing here? And Robin said, excuse me, so how are you going to go and you going around talking about my relationship? Now, I will say this. Ashley was messy. She really was. And she irked me to a certain degree this season. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, let's not act like Ashley didn't have similar information. Well, her sources were a little different. Now we're finding out that Ashley's friend was friends with the woman that supposedly Juan was dating. And that's why Ashley wanted to clarify, hey, so I've been hearing this and that. And Robin said, that's fine. But when you keep nitpicking at it, that's when it became a bigger issue. I said, yeah, but it's on the show and it looks messy, so that's why we have to keep asking you. Because we're on the show. If this was real life, they probably will let go. But it's like, we're on the show, people keep bringing it up because we're on the show. It just won't go away. So someone's going to have to talk about this sooner or later. And I don't know. Do I feel bad for Robin? No. Like I said, I do believe that Juan has said certain things in the past and reacted a certain way, and Robin before probably thought was just normal, and now she realizes it's not, and they've had conversations, and I don't believe that it didn't affect her when she initially saw his or heard his response from the producers, though. I do think that it did, because even when she was watching it back, she looked very uncomfortable, like she wanted to leave. And maybe it was because she knew she would be grilled on it, but still, let's not act like what Giselle and Robin did, going to Ashley's place of business. And Ashley said, you're talking about Monique's hood, but you rolled up on me at my place of business where I get the bag. Come on now. And they said, yes, we're acknowledging that did occur. We're acknowledging that did transpire, and we did apologize, but let's not act like I said, well, wait a minute. Robin, your hand was in Ashley's face. That finger was twirling. And Ashley said, whoa, did you actually want to fight? Did you want to fight? Because it didn't make any sense. You gave me that energy. I mean, they were like, yeah, but you put 20 on 10. You put 20 on 10. You did it for cameras. Hello? Hello? If you guys really wanted to be the bigger person, you could have easily left and said, you know what? You should be embarrassed that you're going acting a fool in front of your customers, and left. But no, you wanted to be confrontational. You were okay with doing it there because you were open to going to her restaurant to possibly argue with her. So let's stop acting like it was anything different. And then what Robin says after the camera stopped rolling, because Robin was just like, you know what? I really would beat her ass. I really would beat her butt. She was getting on my nerves. She was acting a fool, lying on me, doing all this stuff, being nosy. We're at a party and she's going being gossip girl. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So, of course, I wanted to run up on her. Of course, I wanted to beat her butt. If the cameras weren't there, oh, I swear, if the cameras weren't there, I said, okay, Robin, this is the problem right there. This is exactly what we get from you. Oh, when you're around Juan, you act differently, which is fine. You should. That's your dude, or that's your ex, however you want to slice it. Giselle, that's your friend, we get it. There's some people who, they do switch it up from person to person, and they're still their authentic self. They're just a slightly different version. Some people like them more, some people like them less. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't. My issue is that why is it that you, when the cameras weren't officially on, that's when you want to go and say, yeah, I really did want. That's fake. That's fake, and that's what people are saying. Just say it. Just say it. Ashley doesn't seem like the type that will sue because you threatened her. Just say it. That's what we all want. We want you to say it. If you really feel it, there's nothing wrong with saying it. Put it out there. Put it out there for the world. Listen to this. Oh yeah, I did that out of order. That's fine. What else? Well, guys, I'm trying to think. What else do you want to talk about? Because I'm sure there was a big section that I missed, and I don't really care. That's how I feel about this part one. It's just no. Let's see. It's so funny because I talked about all of that stuff ahead. So I'm trying to think, was there anything else I really needed? I don't know what the show needs to do to reboot, because there's just something. It needs a little bit more something for next season.
Not experienced enough to really have an opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I said Ashley is married. Now Ashley is so honest with what goes on in her life, it's a little ridiculous. I mean, even for reality TV, she loves to point the finger back at herself and reflect, and so I think that's the problem there. She's one of those people that in an instant will say, well, yes, this happened here, this happened there, it sure did, absolutely, so why can't you be honest with me? Why can't you be honest with me? Why can't you be honest with all of us? And listen to this. Again, I already talked about that. That's why I think I covered everything. I think I covered everything for now. Next week, we're going to talk about Karen and who she's... No, Karen, who she's saying who she isn't dating, because the same thing happened this week with Charisse and possibly the multiple dudes and the cheating allegations outside of the marriage. No, while she was still in the marriage. So it's like, how are you pointing the finger at Eddie when it's also you? All right, that's it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what I missed. Come back for part 2. Please like, comment, subscribe.